Right, okay, welcome back to another video on the channel. Today, I've got a whole video on Marc Guiu, the striker from Barcelona. We're going to be signing. We're going to go through the news. We're going to go through some of his stats. We're going to go through how he plays. We're going to, we're going to learn a lot about him. We're going to see what he's like as a player. Talking about, is he the right move for us? Is he the player we need? Is this a good signing? What actually is signing? How much contract, stuff like that. We're going to go through it all. A complete video dedicated to one player, Marc Guiu. I said, coming in from Barcelona. Not been officially announced yet, but as we'll get into in a second, it is pretty much done. Not quite here we go though. Yeah, let's get into it. So look at the news. So we are signing the Spanish striker, Guiu from Barcelona. I said that. Obviously, he's 18 years old. He's came through La Masia, been at Barcelona since the age of 7. He's got a release clause in his contract, what is 6 million euros, which is about £5.07 million. So, a cheap price, a very cheap price for a player who, Barcelona seems to value quite a lot and think is quite special. It's quite a cheap price for him. Barcelona, they tried to give him a new contract and they tried to change the release clause. I would have thought to rather get rid of it or move it up, but in the end, he decided he wants to change, he wants to go, and it's going to be us. Bayern Munich did show interest, but I don't think they were willing to pay the release clause. I think it might have been the issue in the end. I'm not too sure. But yeah, he's coming to us. So release clause, I think as we get on the video, we might start to see that it's actually quite a very good price for his potential the pay he can be. With his potential, if we can get him for 5 or 5.1 whatever million pounds, it could be some really, really good business here. His contract itself is meant to be until 2030, so a 6-year deal. And we've been told there has been a verbal agreement between agents and us. We don't know if there's actually been an actual personal terms officially struck yet. But we do know last night he was in London and he has completed medical, as you expect from an 18-year-old. So, yeah, this one, it's pretty much there. Medical done, release clause paid. Yeah, it's just about getting those final numbers for the contract down. I don't think will be an issue. End of the day, we're not paying loads for him. I haven't seen anything about him demanding a very high wage. Obviously, we know they've been a bit reluctant to spend higher wages. Look at Elise Williams. So yeah, I can't see the contract being a problem. As I said, that there was a verbal agreement as well. They're saying so. They're expecting this one's going to be done very soon. Knowing this, it'll probably be done as soon as I finish editing the video. I wouldn't be surprised. But yeah, this one's on the verge of happening. It's fine. We can talk about him. And an exciting signing, I'd say. We'll get into that in a bit, though, when we're talking about his playing style. But as I said, yeah, he seems to be very highly valued by Barcelona. And, a lot of potential, and we've got him on a cheap price. So if we actually look at why he's highly valued by Barcelona, look at his stats from last season. So for Barcelona's main team, he played 3 games for La Liga, where he played 73 minutes and got 1 goal. Obviously, that goal coming on his debut against Bilbao, was it 23 seconds, I think the number was, into his debut, and he got the winner for Barcelona against Bilbao in a 1-0 win. To be a teenager, come on, and within 20 or 30 seconds, score on your debut to win the game. So yeah, crazy start to his La Liga campaign. As I say, since then he's played 2 more games where he hasn't scored, but yeah, he hasn't played a bad full of minutes really, as he said, 73 minutes. To get 1 goal in 73 minutes, especially coming from the bench, that is very decent. He's also got his first Champions League goal as well. Playing for Barcelona in Champions League, he's played 2 games. He's got 33 minutes, and he's got 1 goal. That goal coming against Antwerp, a header. His goal against Bilbao, very nice finish. Second goal, a header. So, and that's key, He hasn't played bags full of minutes, but he's came on in the Liga, in the Champions League, the 2 biggest stages for a Barcelona player. He's got his first goal on both of them. He's clearly quite confident. He's not scared to shoot. We'll go into that later. He's also played a few minutes in the Copa del Rey for Barcelona as well. 2 games, 76 minutes, but no goal contributions there. But overall, you say that's a very impressive start in the Barcelona team. 7 appearances and he's got 2 goals, and it's not like he's played loads. So yeah, good stuff for Barcelona. You can see, started to play more and more for them towards the end. Seems like Xavi quite liked him as a player. And he also spent some time in the Barcelona B team. Now, he wasn't a permanent fixture in the Barcelona B team. He played some for the under-18, some for the first team. The way he was almost fast-tracked to the first team sort of hindered him out. He played for Barcelona Athletic, or Barcelona B, whatever you want to call them. So in the Spanish third division, I believe he got 13 games for them. They played 570 minutes, 4 goals, 2 assists. Once again, very decent numbers. And in the playoffs, 4 games, 280 minutes, 2 goals, 2 assists. So there's some really decent numbers for him. And you say he's a young player, but things it's on Barcelona B, but it's not like in England where it's a division for just loads of second teams. This is against professional teams as well. This is third level Spanish football, I believe. So it's still a very impressive record. So he's 18 years old, and he is doing it against professionals. So yeah, very impressive. So as we'll get into a second, you can see why Barcelona and Xavi, why they all really impressed him, why Barcelona wanted to keep hold of him, and why there was the reports are there's been a bit of a shock in the Barcelona camp that he's leaving. So we get into his playing style then. So there is a stereotype around him that he's a bit more of a classic striker. And it makes sense. He's a taller player. His official height's 1.87 meters, which is about 6'1". And you only need to watch a little bit to realise, he's a very, very strong player and a very, very fast player, and they're probably two of his key attributes. And that's great. He's a young player. He's 18 years old, and yet physically he's so well developed. I think that's a really positive point. Really, I think that's a really positive point. You look at him naturally as like an athlete. So very fast, very strong, very good in the air. A lot of people give him credit for that, the way he's built. But I actually think he deserves more credit for his technical work as well. I mean, you watch the clips of him, you watch him play, and I guess coming from La Masia, it's what you expect. But he's a really good technical player as well. He's got a lot of quick foot work. He uses his chest a lot. I mean, you watch highlights of him, what I have done, that's where I got this from. He uses his chest loads, just flicking it off his chest, rather holding it up, flicking it. His stuff's really impressive, really quick footwork, going around defenders and having a quick shot. He's a right-footed player, but if you watch him play, he'll use his left foot a lot as well, in all fairness to him. He's not afraid to turn and shoot on either foot. I think technically, from what I've seen from the hype I've seen from him, I think people are going under the radar and not giving ratings for his actual technical ability. His actual technical ability itself is really impressive. You add that to what he's got athletically, I do think he has potential to be a really good player. I think he can, if in our team, we'll see whether he plays this season, next season, whatever the plans are for him, I think he can allow us to constantly switch things up as well. I mean, look, we can play him behind of him, he's got the pace to do that. We can cross it to him aerially. I mean, him in the air, a lot of people say that's his strongest point. Very, very, very good in the air. Very good in the air. He can use his height to excellently. He makes fantastic. I mean, once again, the way he reads the game, always making fantastic runs. I mean, you look at his run to get his goal against Antwerp in the Champions League. Fantastic run. He uses that brilliantly. So, as I said, easier to play the ball behind to him, easier to cross it into him because you almost know he's going to get there. And as I said, him aerially, that's probably his strongest point. You can use him in quick build-up play because of his quick footwork. You can use him as hold-up play as well because he's strong and he's technically good, he's smart. And so, yeah, as I said, he's just really well-rounded player. Really well-rounded. And that aerial threat is probably something we lack with Jackson, who can, Jackson can be really good with his feet, really good technically, but as an aerial threat as, strength as well, that's where Guy is different to Jackson. He's got that bit more. He sort of offers a different dynamic in that way to Jackson. Well, I think it's promising because you've got two young players who both play a different way, both give us different dynamic when we're playing. So if you need to switch up, it can be easier. I mean, let's be honest. At best, this season he's going to be back up to Jackson. At best. I'm not sure he's going to go out on loan. I think it doesn't seem like the board are too keen on loaning through these players we're bringing in. This season he's going to be back up to Jackson. He's a very young player, and also let's not disrespect Jackson either. Last season, Jackson had he had some bad moments, some really bad moments, but he still put up some really decent numbers, and we know Jackson's a good player. So, I'm not expecting Marc Guiu to be first choice striker. I'm not expecting that at all. Not at all. There's a lot of call for a bit of experience in the team, or it's brought up questions of why we're signing them. But I think compared to your Fafanias, your Burstos, some of the young strikers we have in teams, we've got like Jimmy J Morgan as well. Well, I'm not I'm not too sure. I haven't really seen much of him, to be honest. But you compare to some of the young strikers we've signed, I really like the look of this kid. I do. Compared to the others, I do like the look of him. But Marc Guiu, he will be coming to us. What do you think of him? Have you seen much of him? Do you agree? I think he's a well-rounded player. I think he's got a lot of potential, but we've got to treat him right, we've got to develop him right, and hopefully he can start some decent numbers for us. But what's your opinion? Thanks for watching. See ya.